Lately been running the stashy. All of these numbers, I feel like an athlete. Run it up, fuck it all. We just went double up. None of you niggas see cash me. Niggas ain't built like us. How you talk shit on the grim and I want to see you at me. Ay. Niggas be chatting. All the propaganda, you be bluffing my ass.
Okay, welcome back to another video. Today I've got some more Trap Geek. You really like the last documentary I did, King Von Soft Spoken Assassin, and this was the one that was suggested the most underneath that one, and I definitely want to do more of these because, yeah, they're great videos to do, they're really interesting. I like knowing the backstories, the lots of stuff that happens. Let me just tilt my camera down. Also, they don't get copyrighted, which is a massive plus because, you know, reaction channels and copyright is, yeah, it's not a good combination. But yeah, this is Pop Smoke, the Hoovers meet the Woo. I'm guessing this is about his death from when it was released. Which would be interesting because I don't know that much about how he died. All I really know is he was shot by a rival gang, and it was shit that was going on from his past. So yeah, it'll be interesting to know the ins and outs of everything that went on. And Trap Geek is a good explanation, a good explanation. And yeah, also last video I got so many people talking about Vlad TV. What's Vlad TV done, guys? I thought he was a nice guy. I listened to a couple of interviews with Chef G. Yeah, let me know what Vlad TV did. He seems to be not the most liked guy.
Lifestyle. Woo's a lot. Woo's.
Secret society.
I can't say no better than that.
That's it.
I'm trying to say.
Can we get a big woo in the room?
Woo!
3 men are behind bars in the murder of rapper Pop Smoke. They're also linked to the September murder of 18-year-old Cameron Stone at the Rose Bowl parking lot.
The up-and-coming rapper ambushed in a posh Hollywood Hills home early Wednesday morning. The 911 call came from someone on the East Coast who had apparently been told what happened.
What they saying happened, he posted an address or this or that.
In Cali, you gotta have your guns out, bro. That's where everybody get robbed at. That's where everybody get jacked at. That's where the home invasion is going on at. You know, they looking for rappers. They gonna get you, dog. They about their business out there.
All right, we gotta talk about the Pop Smoke situation. There was a lot of theories floating around about what exactly happened. People thought it was some GDs from Brooklyn who traveled all the way down to LA, went to Mount Olympus, where Pop Smoke was staying at, and shot him in the escalation of the Woo versus Cho war that's going on in Brooklyn and elsewhere in New York City. Some people said it was an inside job set up by his best friend or his manager. People were running with this story that the owner of the Wraith that Pop Smoke allegedly took out of state without permission, that the owner ordered a hit on Pop Smoke as retaliation. All of this is nonsense. None of this is true. The people...
Bro, I hate it when this shit happens. Like, when something like really sad, serious stuff comes out and then there's just all these conspiracies floating around. It's just like... What are you doing? Like, someone started that, obviously. Someone on Twitter has probably just said, oh yeah, I've got inside information. It was the guy who was owned the Rolls Royce. It's like, what are you doing? Just be respectful.
People who killed Pop Smoke were Hoover criminals, and they're from the notorious Hoover Street in South Central LA. Hoover criminals are the most hated gang in LA by far, and that's no disrespect. They would probably admit that themselves. They got a lot of enemies.
He just goes, no disrespect, don't shoot me.
By far, and that's no disrespect. They would probably admit that themselves. They got a lot of enemies. But little by little, detectives started to piece together the clues linking these Hoover kids to a bunch of other shit, including murder and home robberies in the Hollywood Hills and north of Pasadena.
I'm always just blown away by like how young these people are. Like, you see it in England as well. It's just like everyone's so young when they're doing this shit. It's like, yeah, it's crazy. I feel like this wasn't a thing like 50 years ago. Like, this kind of crime 50 years ago was done by like grown men. Nowadays it's done by kids still in school. It's crazy. Like, most of them are like my age or younger even. It's mad.
And one of the dudes who filmed himself in LAPD custody getting arrested for Pop Smoke's homicide was literally giving himself away on Instagram. But it goes even deeper than this. We know that Gucci Mane recently signed Pop Smoke's direct ops from New York to his label 1017.
We knocking meat out his taco, and if you get money, then why you condone the same shit that got Pop Smoke? And I just find it funny.
The war in between the Woos and the Choos has been escalating. Now we're gonna get into all this, but before we do, check out my song of the day. This is my guy Oreo J. Let's go.
No, I'm gonna let this play because I'm watching his video. Yeah, if you like this song, go and check it out.
Yeah, we ride it all summer, summer, summer. Yeah, we ride it all summer, summer, summer. Yeah, I'm so glad you're my new babe. Girl, I love the way your body's moving. Always at my yard, girl, just moving. They hate to see us winning, never losing. Girl, you ain't like no other.
And we've got an ad as well. We love to see
We
it.
deliver Pepe's fresh grilled chicken in 6 tasty flavours.
Yeah, I always let the song of the day play. I will not be doing song of the days on my channel. If I've done that, I've probably sold out. Just, yeah, come at me in the comments if I do a song of the day. Most I'll do is an intro song, and that is probably it. I find these really annoying, the song of the days. But that guy sounded like Khaled. Weird name, Oreo J, but he sounded like Khaled.
Alright, in order to understand this story, we gotta go to South Central LA, to Hoover Street. This is a long street from north to south, and is sandwiched in between a bunch of other hoods in South Central LA. And historically, the Hoovers began as a Crip faction in the 70s and 80s until this internal war broke out, and the Hoovers started breaking away from the Crip alliance. Now, they started beefing with Crip factions like the Rolling 60s, which is where Nipsey Hussle is from, the Rolling 40s, the Rolling 30s, the 90s, the 100s, the 50s, etc. Now the Hoovers beef with both Bloods and Crips, and as a result, they become the most hated gang in LA since the late 90s, right? Everybody hates them.
It's just like, they're some crazy motherfuckers, isn't it? They're going for the two big boys.
And in order to stand out, they gotta be super violent, they gotta be extra reckless, and they also adopted orange colors to distinguish themselves. They changed the C from Hoover Crips to Hoover Criminals, and one of, if not the only Hoover set that remained Crip is the 5 Deuce Hoover Crips that even exported outside of LA, and you'll see them in places like Dallas or Houston with Maxo Cream. Now, fast forward 6 months after Pop Smoke's death. There was no leads, no witnesses, people were not talking, and Corona was effing up the investigation.
This is probably like, usually this kind of stuff happens. It happens to like a normal person. The police will have it instantly. Whereas I guess when it happens to people that are involved in gang stuff, it's like, no one's going to talk. It's going to be really hard to find information.
The police couldn't conduct any interviews, it jammed their whole shit up. Then, all of a sudden, a week ago, the LAPD announces they got Pop Smoke's killers. And one of them, when he got arrested, filmed himself in the squad car, in the interrogation room. It got posted all through social media. People found his Instagram profile. He basically doxed himself and his co-defendants. That's what happened.
It's like, what goes through your mind to think, yeah, I'm going to post that on Instagram? Like, what? Why would you... I don't get it. Is it like just searching for clout? Or, yeah, weird.
When you put all your info out there, people find your address. And if you check out his Instagram bio, he's got all the O's crossed out. Since Hoovers beef with all the O's, like the Rolling 60s, 40s, 30s, 90s, 100s, etc. The Hoovers cross out O's in their language. That's how you know that person is Hoover. They also put K's next to B's and C's to signify blood and Crip killer. And since the Hoovers beef with almost all Crip factions, that includes all of the East Coast Crips, and Pop Smoke is an East Coast Crip from Brooklyn. Another obvious sign is this kid is wearing orange in a lot of his photos. And what's super interesting is when 6ix9ine came from New York to LA with Shotty and the 9 Trey Bloods, they paid for Hoover protection. They had a bunch of Hoover people with them. Now, what's interesting is we're learning that these Hoover kids who killed Pop Smoke had a history of being super active. In September of 2019, they got into a fight at the Rose Bowl and shot and killed a kid in a parking lot who was just trying to break up the fight, right? His name was Cameron. This is a kid who was going to real estate school. He had a promising future. Boom, they killed him. 2 months later, those same Hoover kids...
It's shit like that that's like, he's not even involved in it. It's like Boys in the Hood and Ricky, innit? It's just like the person who doesn't want to die. He doesn't deserve to die. He's not involved in anything. He should be like the last person who gets hurt in any way. And it's like, they suffer the most.
Were in a brutal high-speed car crash that they survived after pressing the gas to escape the LAPD, who was chasing them down on the highway for a string of home robberies in the upscale homes northwest of Pasadena. Now, on the freeway in Glendale, the cops decided to call off this chase because the Hoover kids were just going too fast. But the kids crashed their vehicle into an off-ramp, totaled their car. And
that's when you know you're crazy, when the police just go, nah, fuck it, they're gonna like do some mad shit if we carry on chasing them.
When the police got to the the wreck and arrested them, they found a shit ton of stolen jewelry in the trunk. It was a classic case of flocking, or a home robbery in LA. You got celebrities like Alanis Morissette, who got $2 million worth of jewelry stolen from her home. You got Nick Young, who used to play for the Lakers, who got the same thing done to him. LAPD recently took down this burglary ring, and they had been doing high-profile robberies. They also found...
LA is just a crazy area to live in it, because it's like so many people's addresses are public in LA. Like I feel like so many celebrities have their addresses online, which is a bit weird. In like if I had my address online and I was famous, I felt I wouldn't want that. But then it's like every house you go to, there's gonna be valuable shit in it in like certain areas of LA. It's like, yeah, dangerous place to live.
A paper with a bunch of addresses and floor layouts on it. Some of their next targets were LeBron James, Matt Damon, Rihanna, and of course the gang. What did they use? They used social media to monitor when celebrities were away from their homes. They ran...
This is the thing as well. When people are famous, it happens all the time in the UK as well with footballers. It's like when there's a game on, you know they're going to be away. Like when they're celebrities and their whole like schedule is all over the internet, you know when people aren't going to be home. So it just makes it so much easier to break in and steal shit. Yeah, it's just like, you're just such a target when you're a celebrity, especially when you're like that well known and people know exactly what times you're going to be away, like the perfect times to break in. It's crazy.
Sacked this LA Rams player's mansion while he was playing a game against the Vikings, right? They wait for you to leave, they just infiltrate that shit. And these home robberies are a big source of revenue for a lot of gangs out of South Central LA. You look at the geography, just to the west of...
Bro, if you're like living in LA, your security needs to be on point. It needs to be like some insane security. And I'd always want people in my house. I feel like if I left, I would always have someone just in my house, just making sure shit don't happen.
All the hoods in South Central LA, it's the rich beachfront properties of Santa Monica. To the north, it's the lavish homes in the Hollywood Hills. Fast forward to February of 2020, Pop Smoke rented a mansion in the Hollywood Hills, more specifically Mount Olympus. He's only a couple people deep, maybe him and his best friend. He was updating his Instagram, posting that he's in Beverly Hills. Then, on his story, he was opening a gift, a special delivery from Amiri. We know Amiri and Pop Smoke have a great relationship. And on the gift that they gave him had the address of the mansion he was staying in. And he's filming all this on his IG story. That was all the info they...
It's the thing, bro, you gotta be careful about that shit. Especially when you're well known and you know that there's people that might want to just come and do shit like that. Oh,
needed. The Hoover criminals were watching. They saw Pop Smoke was staying at 2033 Hercules Drive, a house owned by Teddy Mellencamp. They waited until 4 in the morning thinking Pop Smoke would be asleep. It would be an easier job. The mansion was about 20 minutes away from Hoover Street. 4 Hoover criminals got there, masked up. The security alarm in the house was deactivated. 2 of them went to the back door, and right on the inside of that door is a couch. Most likely that's where Pop Smoke was sitting or lying there, whatever. When the Hoovers got inside, they started tussling with him. Allegedly, he had a gun and let off a shot, shooting one of them, and that's when the other one let off 2 shots in his torso, and Pop Smoke let out and died. We do know that the shooters then fled on foot, right? Somebody in New York called the police. That's how quick the news spread, and for 6 months it looked like the case was gonna go unsolved. But the LAPD were knocking on doors, getting video footage from civilians and businesses in the area, and they tracked the suspects all the way back to Hoover Street, where they arrested 5 people, 2 of which are still under the age of 17. Now that shit was tragic.
Yeah, it's just like that way, like dying that way, like bleeding out after you've been shot in your stomach. That's like one of the worst ways to die. I feel like you just like, you know you're gonna die and you're just bleeding out and you're just waiting for it. I guess like maybe adrenaline would like ease the pain a bit, but still it's just like that's gotta be one of the worst ways to die. And dying alone as well, like you don't get to die in the hospital with your family around you. But it happens to so many people. It's fucked. It's so fucked.
In peace to Pop Smoke, but we gotta talk about Brooklyn, cause the music is heating up. We know that Bobby Shmurda and Rowdy, they're coming back home hopefully December or earlier.
Bobby Shmurda's back. Everyone who's recommending that I need to listen to him, I know. I've heard most of his old songs, so I ain't gonna do reactions like first time reacting to Bobby Shmurda. I'm gonna keep it real on this channel. I'm only actually gonna react to rappers that I'm actually hearing for the first time. I don't want a fake reaction, because it's just, I wanna keep it real. So yeah, if I actually do reactions to first time listening to someone, it's genuinely my first time listening to them. I don't want to do boyish murder just because I've heard lots of him, but hopefully he's going to drop soon, and I'll be straight on it when he drops.
They're GS9, which is woo. You know that Fabio is making waves, doing proud for Pop Smoke, except just like in Chicago, you can't mention Chief Keef without talking about Lil Jojo or FBG Duck. And it's the same in Brooklyn. On one side is the Woos, and on the other side is the Choos. Pop Smoke's direct rival just got signed to Gucci Mane, and this is a guy by the name of Coach the Ghost. Dope rapper, and it might...
Loads of people have been telling me to react to this guy as well. That would definitely be coming. Coach the Ghost hit list is the one that I think loads of people have been saying. I'll definitely be on that as well. Fabio Foreign's one of them as well. I've tried to do a Trust reaction. Fabio Foreign Trust. It's such a banger. That track is so lit. But it gets blocked on YouTube. So yeah, I've tried to upload it so many times, changing the pitch, cutting out bits. Yeah, YouTube just really don't like me uploading that video. So yeah, I apologise to anyone that's wanting to see that reaction. I've been trying, honestly. But just know, it's a banger. It's on my playlist. It's a fire song.
Surprise people to know that he is a gangster disciple from Brooklyn. And you might be thinking, I thought that shit was only in Chicago. See, the GDs moved from Chicago up to New York in the late 80s, early 90s, and established GD sets mainly in like Flatbush, Brownsville, Bed-Stuy, and the Choos have a huge GD element to them. This shit...
He keeps mentioning the Choos as well. That's, it's one of his other documentaries, I think. It's this one. Yeah, let me know if you want me to react to that one. I'll be on that as well. That's Battle for Brooklyn. Yeah, loads of people recommended that one as well. I thought I'd do this one because it had more views basically. So yeah, I'll definitely be doing the other one if you guys want to see it, because I really like doing these reactions. It's just like a fun little chill reaction, and it's interesting.
Warrants its own video because people need to know like the history and how things are moving right now, especially with Bobby and Rowdy coming home in December. That can make things very interesting. Let me know if you guys want a full video on that. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, and I'll see you in the next video.
Yeah, I'll 100% do Woos vs Choos. Is that how it's pronounced? Why is it pronounced Choos? Choos, I would pronounce that, but obviously not Woos vs Choos. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely do a reaction to that one if you guys want to see that. Let me know if you want to see that by liking the video. Let's try and hit 1k likes on this one. I reckon we can get 1k likes. Yeah, let's try and get 1k likes on this video. As I said, I really enjoy doing these Trap Geek documentaries, and they're just interesting, like chill back reactions that I can do. Yeah, apart from that, was, yeah, fuck man. I hate hearing stories like this, but it's like, yeah, this shit happens, and it's fucked up. It's like, it's just shit that kind of gets you down in it when you hear this stuff is just such a normal thing in some communities, and yeah, it's a shame. But yeah, like I said, like the video if you did enjoy, subscribe if you want to see more Trap Geek reactions, US and UK music reactions in general, subscribe and turn notifications on so you don't miss when I upload a video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.